Alright everyone, and welcome back to our F1 2016 career mode, and today it's round 3 of the season then, coming here off the back of a DNF thanks to our teammate Romain Grosjean taking us out in Bahrain. And yeah, we'll be looking to move on from that this weekend, and we do have an engine upgrade then, which is going to hopefully help us along the long back straight here in China. And yeah, we're expecting some more midfield battles, so yeah, that should hopefully help us and yeah, get us our, well, the team's third consecutive points finish then from only its third race. So yeah, we're heading into the first session now then. We're doing the track acclimatization, which for a track like China, which I know quite well from previous games, is not too difficult, but yeah, just getting the perfect score is a difficult thing. But we do pass it then with the our final run there, and yeah, I think we got a purple score in the end, which is pretty good. A few grid penalties though in that first practice session for Marcus Ericsson and Nico Hülkenberg. We finished 13th there, Roman up in 10th, and both of us setting times on the soft tyres there. On to FP2 now then. We actually decided to do the qualifying run this time round, and yeah, there was some rain forecast actually, so I was hoping to sort of get all the practice programs done nice and quickly here. And yeah, we did the qualifying one there and we reached the initial target, but yeah, we couldn't get the purple one, but we passed with the green, so that's alright. Onto the tyre wear, as you can see, it was raining by its points, so yeah, we really were struggling here after setting a few decent times, so we failed that one again unfortunately. But we do come 7th then on the super soft tyres then next to our qualifying run in that session. Rio Haryanto somehow 11th with an intermediate lap time there. I mean, this man is a god, obviously. On to FP3 on Saturday morning, which was a complete washout. And yeah, we're on the full wet tyres then, just to get a bit of wet running with this car. We haven't had a chance to do so yet, but we actually don't do much in the end. I think it did actually get dry enough for Inters at some point later on, but we didn't stay out there, and neither did Roman evidently, because we were only 21st and 17th in that session then. And looks like a few others actually didn't do much running there either. On to qualifying then, which somehow it all completely dried up by then. And yeah, we're on the super soft tyres then in Q1, just looking to get through, which we do with the 37.7 there, which actually got us up in 4th place then with that time. Roman down in 11th place there, but through nonetheless. And looking further down, it was once again the Renaults, the Saubers and the Manners that got knocked out in Q1. I saw that Renault actually brought some upgrades, well, an upgrade to this weekend, but it doesn't seem to have done them much good. On to Q2 then, and the rain had started to fall. We're on the intermediate tyres here then, and across line we come then to go 3rd fast then with that time. Moved down to 5th in the end, but we are once again through to Q3 for the 2nd race in a row. Roman knocked out in 12th place there. And yeah, both Force Indias not having a good weekend then, down in 15th and 16th. That's a bit of a surprise there. The team McLaren's actually out qualifying them. And on to Q3 then, where the rain got heavier, and we're on the full wet tyres now then, and we'll just be hoping to keep on the road and set a decent time here. It's a 56.7 I should say, which isn't great. So yeah, it was actually slowest of the people who had set an initial time, which was only 5 of us surprisingly. And we are getting ready now then to go out for another set of wet tyres to go for one final run on this to see if we can improve, because I was expecting us to get moved down once the other set of time. But we now get a warning here from the team saying that they think we're on the wrong tyres here, and I think our engineer was just suggesting to said that we took the intermediate tyres. So that is what we're going to do here. That is a very late call here. You can see not much time left, and yeah, we did actually get out for a final time. But as you can see there, Rosberg's still on the wet tyres, and those who actually did go out on Inters didn't actually get across the line to start a lap. So yeah, we're the only person on intermediate tyres who's going to get a lap in here. And as you can see by our delta, we are way up on our time. So I think you know what might be about to happen here. As we come on the final corner, it's just a blast to the line now then. And yeah, we have just gone on pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix for the Haas team in only ours and the team's 3rd race. What on earth has just happened? We are on pole position by over 3 seconds from Nico Rosberg in the Mercedes. And look at that, Vettel, Raikkonen, Kvyat, Verstappen and Hamilton none of them managed to get round to set a lap time. I don't know why they didn't set an initial one, but yeah, that is an absolutely bizarre Q3. We are on pole position, having been the only one who got in a time on the intermediate tyres. And wow, we are just going to be destroying Roman now in the rivalry, which I'm happy about, because yeah, he ruined our race last time out, which I'm still pretty salty about, not going to lie. But yeah, we literally got points at every single objective there. And yeah, we were down to 9 then because of that DNF, but we are going to move back up to 10 now then, with that, with the results there in qualifying. Well, we'll beat them both comfortably. There are the targets. We now go to race day then, and it is still wet, so could this actually play into our hands then? Because I don't think the Haas is really going to be taking on the big boys with dry conditions, but with these light rain conditions, as you can see there, maybe we'll have a chance to actually maintain our position here. We are on pole position, of course, so I mean, we are in the best place possible to be going for it, but yeah, it's going to be very difficult to obviously do that here, as yeah, we're looking at the driver standings then. Vettel with that lead still then over Rosberg, with Hamilton still recovering then, the reigning world champion, and Ferrari there still ahead of Mercedes, in fact, in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull a bit behind there. There's Max Verstappen, and in fact there is us. There we are on pole position, looking so relaxed, and yeah, you wouldn't hardly believe that we're about to start our from the pole position for the first time. Here's the grid then. There we are on pole for Nico Rosberg. Daniel Ricciardo is third ahead of Valtteri Bottas. They're in the Williams. And here's a good qualifying overall then for Williams, then with Massa in fifth. Vettel, Raikkonen, Kvyat, Verstappen and Hamilton all not send times. Hamilton must regret picking car 44 now then. Perez ahead of Magnussen and Palmer there. Sainz is 14th ahead of Nasser. Hulkenberg down in 16th. Alonso and Button. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with the grid in these. It just seems that like there's some penalties I see, and there's some that like the game just makes up out of nowhere, because I literally never see them. Roman is somehow 22nd again. I did not see him get a penalty at any point. And yeah, the grid is completely mixed up again then down at the back. So yeah, luckily it didn't mess it up for us then, and we're on pole position. As you can see from the session forecast, it doesn't look like it's going to be staying wet for very long here. And yeah, the projected strategy then, I don't think we're actually going to be sticking to it. But yeah, we are on the grid now then, and yeah, the formation lap is underway, and we are the one that leads it away. And yeah, this formation lap will be a good idea to just work out how much grip there is. A lot of wheel spin from us there as we try and explore the limits. But yeah, that is the good thing about having the warm-up lap. We do get to have a good feel here for the conditions. And yeah, we go now back to the grid then to line up. And yeah, everyone's going to be lining up behind us then. And yeah, we will be starting this race from pole position. And what can we do from the front? We've got Nico Rosberg right alongside us. Is there any chance for us here on the intermediate tyres to actually maintain our position here? They got the lights coming on now then. And away we go then for the Chinese Grand Prix. And yeah, we're so careful here not to just bin it straight away. But we have actually had a pretty decent start here. And we are going to lead into turn 1. Rosberg didn't actually have the best of starts there, and I think Bottas is actually looking at him there into turn 1, just having a quick check in the mirror. And yeah, we are going to lead then through the first couple of corners. So yep, it has been the start we wanted then. It is going to be quite difficult for us though, because I mean, even though we do have the advantage of no spray, we are going to be the first person to arrive at each of these corners, and we are the first person to see how much grip there is, as we find out immediately there at the hairpin. We run too far wide, and yeah, it's lucky that we did have a bit of an advantage at the start there, because yeah, we could have lost the position there, but we have maintained it for now then. And yeah, it has been an ideal start for us then, as we're on to the back straight then for the first time. Rosberg right behind us here. He's got a great run here down the back straight. No DRS of course in these conditions, or in fact even if it was, no DRS for the first 2 laps. But yeah, Rosberg's looking to the inside then. We're going to try and hang on the outside. We're drifting out wide though, and we've gone off onto the AstroTurf a little bit. Rosberg's actually lost it on the exit though a little bit, and we are going to actually go back through then into the lead of the race. Rosberg getting out of shape on the exit, having taken the lead, and that allowed us to retake the position. So yeah, we've actually going to have a pretty comfortable lead then over the line then for the beginning of the second lap. We see the replay then down the straight, side by side it was. We had a bit of a gap there to Bottas, so that was a bit fortunate there. He could have mugged us maybe there. and you see around the hairpin then Rosberg on the exit just a little bit all over the place, fishtailing, and yeah, through we go back into the lead of the Grand Prix. So yeah, already getting a little bit of a battle here for the lead then. It's not really what I was expecting then. As far as I was expecting us to just fall like a stone through the field, but yeah, Rosberg there gets through, and then just a little bit all over the place there, you have to say, trying to find the grip coming up the slow corner in the wet conditions. And in fact, as they went across the line to begin the second lap, Bottas actually lined up Rosberg into turn 1, and that does actually help us quite a bit then, because there's now Williams separating us from Mercedes then, and on lap 4 we are still leading the race, but we have a big lock-up here into the hairpin, and yeah, there's a massive lock-up in fact there on the outside tyre as well, which was a bit odd, and we run a bit wide, so that does actually make us lose some of the ground that we had pulled out a little bit over Bottas there. I mean, we weren't getting away, but we were managing to maintain our position in these conditions, so that was very good for us there. By lap 6 so you can actually see that the conditions are getting a bit better in terms of the weather. I mean, not better first probably, but behind there we see Rosberg lining up Bottas into the hairpin. It's all going on just behind us, and yet he's back through in second place, so he's going to be all over us once again now then. And Bottas had been serving as a nice little buffer for us there, but I don't think that's going to happen now, because yeah, Rosberg is probably going to close right to the back of us straight away then. And on the next lap then, here he comes, and you can definitely see that the track is getting a bit dry here, and the rain is certainly very much easing off. Rosberg's got a good run this then down the straight, and yeah, he's lining us up, and he's through. It looks like Bottas is also there as well, and they're both through. Are they going to squeeze it? It looks like they are. Bottas actually moves out of the way at the last second. We go round the outside of Rosberg, and look at the group behind us, but we have Sinnoh managed to come out of that, still in the lead of the Grand Prix, and yeah, I have no idea how we managed it without any contact or any damage or anything. But yeah, look at this, then Rosberg lines us up, Bottas is there, Ricciardo's getting in on it as well. It was nearly 4 wide there down the straight, would you believe, as Ricciardo closed in. And it looked like Bottas and Rosberg was going to squeeze us there, but Bottas then moved over to the left. I think he realised, and he just pushed Ricciardo out wide. He was actually having a look on the outside, and that allowed Vettel to get through as well. So it's all kicking off here then, as we were creating a little bit of a train. And yeah, you see how close it is between the three of us there. Ricciardo always confident on the brakes, and he's going to look right on the outside, and then Bottas just moved left into him, pushed him out, and that allows Vettel to overtake him. And Vettel obviously recovering from having not set a qualifying there yesterday. So yeah, we see the on-board from him then, and you can see how close it is all getting between us then. Ricciardo sees that gap, and then it disappears as Bottas makes sure he's not squeezing us, but instead he just runs Ricciardo wide instead. And Vettel again alongside Bottas up the inside, and he's actually in fact having a look at Rosberg there, but then into the final corner. Bottas was still there on the inside, so yeah, the Ferrari driver had to give way, and Bottas was back through into third place. But on the next lap we're actually now getting the call here to change our strategy and go on to the medium tyres. So the team obviously feels that the track is now dry enough for us to be able to switch over. Obviously there is sort of a crossover point between the inters and the dry tyres where yeah, it's better off to be on the drier tyres even if the grip isn't ideal. So yeah, it looks like we've finally reached that crossover point then, and yeah, we'll be getting on to the medium tyres then, which probably won't last us until the end, but yeah, we'll probably be doing like one more stop after that, as into the hairpin we come then. And Rosberg all over the back of us then. We've actually run wide into the hairpin again as DRS gets enabled, and Rosberg goes through into the lead then right at the end of the intermediate phase of the race. And yeah, we were holding on to the lead for so long then, but yeah, he is coming into the pits along with us then. I guess most of the field will be as well, probably everyone will in fact, as we come in now then, slowing for the line, just making sure we actually get it right then as our inters are going off. We don't want to have any sort of incidents like Hamilton did in 07. But we yeah, we made it around the corner then, as we're looking at Rosberg here, and he had to get held by the queue of cars coming down the pit. That held up Hamilton as well, so yeah, that's both Mercedes that have been hurt big time there, as we get service from our stop and we come out ahead of Nico Rosberg. So yeah, we lost the lead, and now we've got it back again in the pits. I mean, it's going to be very difficult now though in the dry conditions, but yeah, we are going to get to lead this Grand Prix for a little longer, it's looking like. And yeah, as you can imagine, it's not going to last, but yeah, we managed to hold on for another couple of laps then. Interestingly, we were the only ones who went on to the medium tyres then. Everyone else seemed to go for softs, but yeah, Rosberg lines us up then with DRS now enabled, and yeah, through he goes. It was good while it lasted, and we tried to make it last for a little bit longer there, so we tried to outbrake him into the hairpin, but that was never going to work. And yeah, it was good while it lasted then, but I think now the track's dry, we are just going to fall back, and yeah, there's not really going to be much that we're going to be able to do here against some of these top cars, as Vettel just breezes past us then. And yeah, obviously we're not going to fight him too hard then, what with the sort of partnership between us and Ferrari there. And yeah, through goes Vettel into second place. Kvyat actually up in fourth place at this stage then, but I think Hamilton's closing right up to him, and in fact he is passed by the time we skip to lap 16 then. Vettel and Rosberg pit then, of course they were on the softer tyres than us, so yeah, we do get have another few laps then in the lead it looks like, but Hamilton stays up for one more lap and is closing right to the back of us at this point now then. And in fact here he is then later on in the lap, approaching the DRS zone. We go defensive a little bit, actually a little bit of contact there as he went to line us up with the DRS, and he's going to go through then into the lead of the Grand Prix, but he will be bitten at the end of the lap. So will Raikkonen behind us there, who was also closing in. But we managed to do a switch back here on Hamilton, coming out of the hairpin, but yeah, he's going to go into the pits there. So yeah, I couldn't really fight that one too hard, or else there'd have been a collision as he tried to pit in. And yeah, a couple of laps later then, we now pit for what will be the soft tyres then, so we'll be going the other way to everyone else. So hopefully we'll actually have some good pace here on the tyres, and yeah, maybe be able to maintain or actually gain some positions. As yeah, we're looking at Kimi Raikkonen then, because I don't think we're really going to be fighting with Hamilton here, because yeah, he's going to have had a couple of laps now on fresh tyres, but Raikkonen was a few seconds behind us, so it could be close between us and the Finn here as we come out of the pits then on the soft tyres. And out of the pits we come then, and Raikkonen at full speed is going to go past us then. So we've lost that place unfortunately, but we are ahead of Bottas then, and we are up in 5th position then in this race on the faster tyres now then. And yeah, nothing else happens for the rest of the race then. Raikkonen does pull away from us a little bit, but yeah, with the soft tyres then, obviously quicker than the mediums, we did manage to pull out a bit of a gap then to Bottas and maintain our 5th position for the whole race then, or for the rest of the race I should say. So yeah, it was a very unexpected qualifying result then, and I don't think the team expected this result in the race before the weekend then. The Chinese Grand Prix is going to be a 5th place finish, and that is a very good result for us then, as there is your podium for today. It's Nico Rosberg then, who never looked back after overtaking us just before halfway point in the race, and yeah, he had a comfortable drive to first in the end then, and yeah, you could argue that it was already one for him on Saturday when he qualified in 2nd place with yeah, the two Ferraris and Hamilton fell into sad time, but they recover, and Vettel finished in 2nd place to try and defend his championship lead. Hamilton on the podium there in 3rd, and yeah, we now see the final results then. Nico Rosberg then with the win by only 3 seconds in the end actually with Vettel, so it was fairly close between them. Then Hamilton in 3rd, Raikkonen took 4th, there we were in 5th position, only 22 seconds then off the lead, and yeah, we were comfortably ahead of Bottas in the end. Kvyat finished in 7th place then, so not too bad from him, managing to beat both of the top Red Bull cars then, and yeah, Carlos Sainz was in the points there as well I believe. Ricciardo only 11th actually, so not sure what happened to him in this race. Alonso there in 12th, head of Perez. Roman was 14th then from the back of the grid. I have no idea how we got a penalty, but whatever. And yeah, the Manners then were the last of the finishers. It was Hulkenberg and somebody else that failed to finish there. Didn't see who, but Vettel then is going to maintain his championship lead just about then, with Rosberg taking victory, another one to close in then. It's only 3 points between them then, but look at that, we move up to 8th place then with that 5th place finish then, and yeah, that puts us ahead of Massa then. Bottas gets some points on the board then for the first time this season, and yeah, Roman moves down to 14th then with that, well, he only finished in 14th in the race I believe. And in the constructors, Mercedes now a few points ahead of Ferrari then, so yeah, they've retaken their lead then, but both teams are currently ahead of Red Bull at this point. Toro Rosso maintain their 4th place, and look at us then, we move ahead of both McLaren and Force India this weekend, and not far behind Williams either, so a very good weekend for us then with that pole position and the 5th place finish. And yeah, that's done us some very good fortunes then in the constructor standings and in the drivers in fact. But yeah, for our rivalry, I think this is going to be it then, because we have pretty much beaten Roman in every area then this weekend, and yeah, there we go, the rivalry has been won, And yeah, that is the first rivalry we've had in this career mode then, and we've won it fairly comfortably in the end then. It was only really when he crashed us out that he sort of got anything over us. And yeah, we stayed then at 10, the highest we can go, with even more pluses this weekend. But that is it then for this race. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for me as well. You can also leave a comment with what you thought of the race as well. And in the description you'll see links to my Twitter and Twitch. Other than that though, I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching and goodbye.